is here, and I will meet you in grace. The presence is here, the presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace.
Me and technology. I had a lesson this morning too, so you can see how I pay attention. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today is all about presence, and we are that. And so we're going to celebrate the presence, which is us this morning. So welcome to our service, and thank you for coming and participating with us in the oneness. So let us begin with a prayer. I invite you to close your eyes and bring your awareness within, whatever that means for you. When we go within, we connect with the essence that is our knowing, that is love, and that is presence. And we are here today celebrating ourselves, celebrating each other, celebrating this community and the oneness that binds us. For it is all presence. It is all one. It is all the same. In the diversity of forms and appearances, we know that we are in unity. And we celebrate that today in this service. We celebrate life in all of its various forms, activities, appearances, situations. We know it is all perfection. It is all that beautiful presence that is the divine, that is the truth of our being. And in this knowing, we express our deep gratitude and our profound appreciation for knowing this truth, for celebrating ourselves, for appreciating each other. And in that knowing, we say, and so it is. So it is. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Right, we're going to anchor ourselves in, center ourselves. We're going to sing Amazing Grace, and Here There Are No Wretches. We're going to sing Saved and Set Me Free. And the way I like to do this is adding in an Om chant, so we'll chant Om 4 times between the verses. So just take a deep breath with me, anchor in, and when we release on this next deep breath, we're going to go right into the Om. So deep breath in. Release, John.
shining as the sun. We boldless days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost, and now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh. Two more times.
It was beautiful. Today's inspirational reading is truly inspirational. It's entitled My Words Fly on Wings of Spirit, and it was written by our beloved Christine Hopkins, who, as you know, left her body behind to truly fly on the wings of spirit, literally. It was edited and adapted by Rev Christina. Our Christine wrote, I would like to have faith. I would like to live in faith, but not the doctrinal or dogma kind. Rather, I'd like to live my life from a center, an anchor of grounded connection with spirit, of being in conscious contact with my higher power, to feel supported, to be inspired, to be calm and serene, with confidence and equanimity, because I'm in contact with experiencing faith most of the time. I recognize that everything is God vibrating everywhere in the fullness of life, in the sturdiness of reality, in all realities. God is totally all presence everywhere all the time. Spirit is the above and below, inside and outside, the boundaryless oneness. Spirit is the source of all life and beyond all life, the source of all matter, of this world and of all worlds. Spirit interpenetrates all frequencies, all realities. Spirit is the interbeing, the everything. I feel the everythingness of God vibrating through me, seamlessly around me, existing in complete connection in my thoughts, my emotions, my physical aliveness, in the energetics and the soulful aspects of me. There is no skin between me and spirit, no entering or departing, no beginning or ending. All spirit, all the time. That is what I am, in me, through me, as me, expressing spirit as my wholeness and completeness, in God that is everything, that is me. I am in it, as it, I breathe it. Spirit is me, I am spirit. In every breath, in every thought, I am with God, in God, filled with God, connecting with God, being God. Spirit is with me every moment, in complete allegiance and alliance, in every holding back and every stepping forward. God is with me. It is all in the oneness in every moment, every word, action, deed, every thought, feeling, emotion, every sensation in my body. Spirit has been a shining beacon of wellness in my life, and my gratitude knows no bounds. My gratitude burns like a fiery comet flying through the universe. My gratitude is on my knees, thanking Mother Earth that I have the female connection with this planet. My gratitude is the immense ocean that is my womb. I believe in the survival of consciousness after the death of the body, and I look forward to someday being reincarnated as a happy, playful dolphin in a more peaceful world. They will say about me, she studied mysticism intensely in her early 20s and practiced altered states of consciousness through dance, drumming, meditation, in dreams, and time in nature throughout her life. In her later years, she added shamanism and new thought to her spiritual development mix. Her lifelong motto was always, to dance is to live, and joy was her baseline. Like a fishing bobber, she found her way back to uplift over and over again, despite occasional bouts of loneliness and distance. She deeply loved her best friends and considered them honorary family members. She looks forward to reuniting with past family members and with beloved pets in the afterlife, and to helping humanity as an effective ancestor who can be called upon to intervene, support, and protect. As she often exclaimed, and so it is. Onward. My words fly on wings of spirit. In this flow I began. I am of God and in God. Always, every breath, every heartbeat, before my body existed and after it is gone, held and loved in the energies of divine spirit.
So we're going to affirm what Christine knew, right? We know that too. I know that God is everywhere.
I know that God is everywhere.
I am with God, in God, as God.
I am with God, in God, as God.
I am all spirit, all of the time.
I am all spirit, all of the time.
I see my words fly on wings of spirit.
I see my words fly on wings of spirit.
And so it is.
So it is.
I am light, I am light. inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light.
Thank you, Ginger. So, a week and a day ago, I was in the Pinelands with, with Christine Hopkins and her family, and with Bobby Miles, and June Hammett, and Marty Levin, and several other friends of Christine's. And I am not here today to pay tribute to Christine because it's not why we're here, but I am here to talk to you about how she inspired me, because you heard in her words that she really knew the truth of her being. She understood her divinity. And the interesting thing about it is, if you knew her, you know, she presented herself as this very energetic, lively, vibrant, feisty, curious, kind of fearless individual, right? And deep within her soul, she knew who she was. And that's what I want to talk about today, because we all know that about ourselves, don't we? We really do. That's why we're here today, just to be reminded of that, to see that within ourselves, the divinity, right? To see it in each other, and to share it with each other, right? That's the community part of it. And Christine loved community. She loved this community. She loved people, animals, nature. She was just a lover of life. And, you know, I want to celebrate that today, because we want to celebrate our lives, don't we? Really. And what is our life? What is life? Really. When I was there last Saturday in the Pinelands, and I was saying prayers and saying a few words about what I know about Christine, what was coming up for me, and it's been with me all week, what was coming up for me was this question: what is life? And I love that. I love questions. You know, questions really bring us, if we really sink ourselves into a question, we can really come to spiritual truth. So that was the question that was coming up for me. What is life? And there could be many answers to that question, and I don't really have a verbal answer to it, because I think it's everything, really. So I can't really define it. But I do know that the essential essence of me and of you and of all things and all beings is that divinity within that Christine expressed so eloquently in her reading, right? And so I want to talk about that today, because she inspired me to remember that. And it's not that I don't remember it at times, but the last few months of her life, she really she focused on connecting with the God within. And I know that because she told me. And she shared many readings with me over the course of the last year, because she was in our practitioner training class, and we had assignments. So those readings, I pulled out of them and created that reading today. And I was really amazed when I read them over again at how inspired she was. So as I say that about her, I also say that about myself and about each one of you, because I know you are. Why are you here, right? Why are we all here together? We know that about ourselves. We know that our life is eternal, right? What is life? It's that eternal part of ourselves. But we walk through our world, our everyday experiences, and oftentimes we forget that, don't we? How can we walk through our life and remember that and still participate fully in life? And that's something I think about a lot, because especially all of this spiritual studying and all of the practices that I've done over the years and continue to do, and every day is different for me. I do different practices. But then I engage in the world. I've got this new job here as the incoming senior minister. I've got things in my personal life going on, as do each of you, right? How do I stay in that place of presence? Ginger sang about presence in her opening song, right? That's the divinity within. How do I stay there and still interact as a human being in the world, holding that presence and extending it forth to whomever I interact with? That's what I see as the challenge in life, and it's always been my challenge. And it's getting easier and easier. I find that as I move forth in my human life, as I continue to do my spiritual practices, I remember more and more, and it's easier and easier in the face of situational experiences, I'll call them. It might be, say, a feeling of discomfort that I might be in, or it might be an actual conflict with another person, or something shows up that just turns my life upside down. I mean, we all know that can happen, right? We've all had those experiences. How do I remain present? How do I stay in that place of neutrality and peace and harmony and still take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, right? Because I used to be a person that was very reactive. Something would happen, or someone would say something to me, and boom, I would just react, right? It would just, I grew up in a large family, 7 children. There was a lot of sibling interactions going on, and we all just were ourselves, right, all of the time. So there was this back and forth, da-da-da-da-da, and I grew up with that, and I carried it into my adult life. And especially over the last 10 years, I've been really focusing on how can I walk through the world in peace. That was Jesus Christ's challenge, right? And he came to the place where he knew how to do that, and he taught that, right? There are many, many mystics that know that. There are some that they have come to that awareness just through enlightenment, just instantaneously. I can think of Byron Katie as an example, if any of you know her, or Ramana Maharshi. He was an Indian mystic, and he was an ordinary boy, and at 16 years old, something just shifted, like a lightning bolt came over him, and he just shifted into awareness. He left his home, he left all of his belongings, and he moved to a place called Arunachala, a cave, well, a mountain, really, a sacred mountain in India, and he lived the rest of his life there. And he died in 1950. He was born in the late 1800s. He devoted his life to just being in that presence, right? Then there's you and I. I have not been hit by any lightning bolts. So what happens for me is it's an incremental learning. My life is my teacher, and it's a daily experience. And some days are easier than others, right? Because I'm interacting with people all of the time. I'm interacting with life all of the time, with circumstances, with the energies of the universe. Sometimes it feels like my life is in chaos. And how do I manage that? Well, the truth is I don't. I've come to the realization that I can't manage what I can't manage. I can't control what I can't control. But I can go along with it, and I can accept it as it is. Allow things to be as they are. Another spiritual teacher, Adi Ashanti, teaches that. Allow things to just be as they are. How many of us can do that as we walk through our world when someone says something sharp to us and we feel deeply hurt inside? Can we really hold our tongue and just be with it? Maybe not be peaceful in the moment, but be with it, right? And then we can go home and we can process it, right? So in the moment that we're feeling the discomfort, the hurt, which is suffering, right? It is a suffering. In the moment that we're feeling that, we can have our outer being, our physical personality, be in equanimity, and we can go home later and we can process those emotions. Because what is keeping us from really knowing the truth of who we are, that divinity within that Christine spoke so eloquently about? It's all of these energetic blocks, these feelings, these thoughts, these emotions. If someone says something to me and I'm feeling like, oh, they hurt my feelings, like a deep hurt, maybe it came from something that my parents said to me or that I said to myself, that I'm not worthy, or it could be many different things, right? We all have these thoughts and these feelings at different times in our lives. How can we be at peace? Well, the way to be at peace, really, what I've found in my experience, is I need to recognize and be with those feelings and those thoughts. So let's say someone says something to me and I'm feeling deeply unworthy, like I don't deserve this, right? Or this was unfair, whatever was said to me or done to me. I can be with that. I can go home. I can journal about it. I can bring my awareness deep into my body and feel those emotions and allow them to move forth. If I don't do that, they stay with me. And what happens? Well, next week somebody else will say something to me. And I've got the same reaction over and over and over again. I've lived my life like that up until fairly recently, maybe the last 10 years. But when we talk about really knowing the divinity within ourselves, knowing that presence, how do we come to that? We can chant, we can sing, we can pray, we can do all sorts of things. But if we're in a place of turmoil inside, emotional turmoil, mental turmoil, from our thoughts of anger, of resentment, of feeling unworthy, of low self-esteem, of feeling angry, the myriad of emotions, right? If we're in those places, it's much more difficult to walk through the world and to feel the presence within, right? And to know the truth of our being. So what's the answer? Keep doing our spiritual practices, keep knowing our truth, right? And when situations come up, when people show up in our lives, and I've started to look at people who push my buttons as my teachers. It's not always easy in the moment, right? But they really are our teachers. The Dalai Lama, you know what he calls the Chinese? He calls them my special friends. He does. Yeah, my special friends. He doesn't walk through the world in anger and in hatred, even though his land, his country, has been decimated by this political war situation, right, which we all know about, right? He doesn't hold on to feelings of anger. He lives in peace. I saw a documentary once about him and Desmond Tutu, and somebody that works very closely with the Dalai Lama said that, he's a very public person. We see him a lot. Right? He travels all over the world and he interacts with so many people. But he spends 80% of his time in meditation. 80% of his time. Right? So he's always working his process. And I consider him an enlightened being and certainly a world leader. We can do the same thing. Right? We can be in that presence of the divine within ourselves, because that is the truth of our being. And we know that. Each one of us in this room knows that, and I know you know that, right? Because I know almost every one of you, right? We can be that more and more in our daily lives, right? Just by being aware. Just by paying attention to what's going on inside of us. And I personally don't have the luxury of spending 80% of my time in meditation. I would love to do that. I think it would be really nice to live in a cave and be able to do that. Well, maybe not live in a cave, but but to be able to, engage in my spiritual practices and live in presence effortlessly, without any distractions, without any upsets, without any discomforts. But that's not the life I was given. I was given a life of interacting in this world and having challenges, right? Financial challenges, living challenges, family challenges, just like all of us, right? We're living in this world. Traffic challenges, whatever it is, discomforts in our job, whatever it is. So that's our challenge. And there's another mystic, he's really an Indian saint called Nisargadatta Maharaj. And he lived his life more or less the way you and I do, right? Because he became an enlightened being. He wrote a book called I Am That, or somebody wrote it about his teachings, I'm not sure, but it's called I Am That. And he ran a tobacco shop, and he had a family. So he lived a family life, and he lived he had a commercial business, a small one in the community. And at a certain point in his adult life, he studied with a teacher, a mystic, and he became enlightened. Within a year, I believe, a very short period of time, but he dedicated himself to really knowing the truth of his being. And then he started teaching in his tobacco shop, and he did that for the rest of his life, which was many, many, many years. So he's more like us because he was in the world. He wasn't like Ramana Maharshi in a cave somewhere, and people came to him once they discovered his presence, capital P presence. But we can emulate that. Jesus Christ did that too, right? He walked through the world, and he knew the truth of his being, and he knew the truth even of his so-called enemies, right? Even in the last hours of his life, he forgave, right? He knew that life is eternal. So for us, what's the message going forth, right? Do our spiritual practices, keep living life, because there's presence just in the joy of our everyday experiences with our children, our grandchildren, our friends, just like Christine did. She loved drumming, she loved dance. You all have things in your life and the people in your life that you love, right? Enjoy that and immerse yourself in it fully. Pay attention to your inner feelings, to your thoughts. If something feels uncomfortable, pay attention to it and process it. What's going on here? Just ask a question. What is going on here? Why am I feeling this way? And just leave it as an open question. You can journal about it, you can pray about it, can meditate on it, can contemplate. There are many different ways to process our feelings and our thoughts. And we can allow them to be and allow them to move forth out of our being. And all of these discomforts, they're like layers. They keep showing up again, but the more we process, the less, I'm going to say charged they become for us, until we learn to be at a point where I am now, where I don't get upset as much as I used to. People yell at me or do whatever, and it doesn't bother me anymore. Hardly ever. I have to say hardly ever, because once in a while it's there, right? But I know how to process it. And something's coming up. It's there for me to address and process so I can go back to remembering the truth of who I am. So I'm going to leave you with that, and thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Reverend Christina. All right, we are going to breathe into a Lou Doty song. If you know this one, please sing along. Let's breathe.
is all around you, surrounding you with all you ever need to realize your dream. Can't you see the love is here to ground you, to astound you, and it's just a breath away. Oh, it's just a breath away. Breathe, breathe. Don't you know you are here to be the light? So be the light, it's all you ever need to realize your dream. Can't you see the light is always with you? It is you, and it's just a breath away. Oh, it's just a breath away. Breathe, breathe. Close your eyes and inhale life and breathe. Be aware and look around you. Breathe. Can't you see God is your eternal life? And there's just this life, and it takes my breath away. God is just a breath away. God is just a breath away. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, yeah. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, yeah.
Thank you, Ginger. Breathing is such a beautiful entree to our offering, because what is breathing? We think about it. We're connecting with all that is, right? We take a breath in, moves through our body, and then we share it with the world, right? And we do that continuously all day long, don't we? And we do that with our energy, with everything. And, you know, sharing in this community here, we're sharing our radiant light within, whether we're doing it financially or in service. Many of you are here in service today. Actually, you're all here in service today just by being. Each one of us is just sharing our divine light with each other just by being here. So as we're in the offertory part here today, I invite you to share from your heart that energy as you're so inspired. Thank you.
So now, if you will follow with me in the program, the blessing of our offering. Thank you, God, for this abundance that is mine to share. I bless this gift
and give it to thee in gratitude and joy, knowing that as I give, I do receive. Thank you, Kay.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So, as I say every week, this is one of my favorite prayers. If we have anybody here for the first time, which I don't think we do, there, we do. If you would please stand up. Thank you. Now, this blessing is specifically for you. Please, please. I would also like Lynn. Lynn, would you stand up also? Thank you, thank you. This prayer is specifically for you. Just receive it, all right? Because we're gonna all hold our hands up and send this prayer to you, okay? So if you will repeat after me, welcome to the Center for Conscious Living. We are a heart-centered spiritual community. We open ourselves to you in love.
We open ourselves to you in love.
We recognize the perfection of God within you.
We recognize the perfection of God within you.
We celebrate the joyous being that you are.
We celebrate the joyous being that you are.
You are a radiant point of light.
You are a radiant point of light.
We are blessed by your presence.
We are blessed by your presence.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Okay.
Turn this off here.
Okay, so just some announcements. And before we do announcements, I want to express some gratitude to our setup team here this morning. A lot of our little elves come and set up this beautiful space, and they do it in prayer and in love. And I just want to acknowledge John and Kay, Peggy, Keith, Marty, and John. Bob. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Thank you for being of service here this morning. Reverend Paul, who was here early and just is, he's very visible, but he's also behind the scenes doing many things that most of you never even see, and he's really supportive of the entire ministry here. Thank you, Reverend Paul. Oh, Wayne, excuse me. I was forgetting something. See, when I don't write things down, Reverend Ken, our Zoom minister, and I see Reverend Catherine up there, my teacher and my mentor and my friend. And Wayne, who really keeps all of our technology and our systems together. Thank you. And of course, our star here, Ginger. Thank you, Ginger. Words really can't express how bright a light Ginger is. So I'm not even going to try. We all have deep gratitude and love and appreciation. Okay, just a few quick announcements. We've announced for the past few weeks that A Course in Miracles teacher, John Mundy, is coming to CCL next Sunday. So he's going to be the speaker. So I invite you all to come to service. And after service, we're going to have a really enlightening workshop from 2 to 5 p.m. at the River House, a beautiful setting where we had the concert and we've had other events there during the past year. But John has been a friend of CCL for more than 20 years. He's Reverend Ken's teacher, and Reverend Ken has now gone off on his own to be a teacher of A Course in Miracles. And if you're not familiar with A Course in Miracles, many people have really reached a place of enlightenment, which really I think of as walking through the world, but not in it. What I was talking about in my talk today. It's really a profound spiritual work, and John Mundy does a wonderful job. He does it with humor and grace and levity, and he's a lot of fun. So I invite you all to come here next week. You can register online on our website or through our newsletter as well, which comes out Thursday and Friday of every week. There's a link there, so I invite you all to join us. Sorry? I think it's 2. It's 2 to 5. Yeah, the workshop is 2 to 5. So it's after service. We take a lunch break, and then we meet up at 2. Our next Mini Monday is November 4th. Bobby Miles spearheads our Mini Monday program. And coincident with All Souls Day in the Christian tradition, or the Day of the Dead, November 2nd, we're going to have a death cafe with Joanne Holmes, and she is in the process of studying to be a death doula. And I guess she must be behind me up on the Zoom screen. But just to let you know that the Death Cafe, it's really an international program. I think it was started in the UK, but it's just a group of people who come together to discuss death. And that's kind of a taboo topic oftentimes, but within that idea of death, of course, is eternal life, right, which we were talking about today. So if you'd like to be part of that discussion, I invite you to come to Mini Monday. It is November 4th. It's an hour and a half, and it's a Zoom program, and you can find the link in your newsletter. Or you can speak to Bobby Miles right there. Bobby, just raise your hand. Okay, and then we have Reverend Roby Chavance coming. She is coming on November 15th and 17th. She'll be here for 3 or 4 days, and she's going to be the speaker on November 17th. And she's a dear friend of 2 of our participants here today, Trish and Paul. And she's a religious science minister. She's very dynamic. She's a lot of fun. She has a lot of personality, and I really invite you to be here that day. Friday evening, the 15th, she's giving a workshop, Messages from Love, with Love from the Other Side. And in addition to being a religious science minister, Reverend Roby is a very gifted medium. So I really invite you to come here on Friday night and see what Spirit has in terms of messages and sayings for you. And then Sunday afternoon, she's going to talk about manifestation. And Reverend Roby is also a very powerful manifester, and she's spent much of her professional ministerial life really working with others to teach them how they can become powerful manifestors. So we have 2 really dynamic workshops with Reverend Roby, and so I invite you to come and join us. She's also a gifted healer, so she'll be giving private sessions There's a flyer in the back. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got her picture and all the description of the different offerings. But if you'd like a private healing with her, you can contact her directly, and her phone number is on the flyer. Okay. What else do I want to tell you about? Yes. I mentioned to you that we had a burial service for Christine Hopkins on Saturday, but we're having a celebration of life service for her on November 10th at the River House. So this is being spearheaded by her brother Tom. She was very close with her brother, and he has arranged to have the River House from 1 to 5 p.m. on November 10th. So I invite you all to come. Bring your drums and bring your stories and just your love for Christine and for each other. Anything else? Just a reminder about daily prayer. Tuesdays, 12 noon with Reverend Catherine, and sometimes I'm there as well. But if you're in search of healing and prayer for anything whatsoever, connection with the divine, or perhaps a particular thing going on in your life, that's a wonderful place to really bring yourself back to presence. The celebration of life service with Christine, there's a flyer, looks like this, it's on the back table, which Reverend Paul printed up for me this morning. So you can have, has the details of that there. And last thing, most of you probably know that Marty and June are part of the Green Faith community. It's a group of faith communities that are interested in really environmental initiatives for the planet. And CCL is a member of Green Faith, but there is a meeting today, 3 to 4:30 p.m. And Elizabeth Cerceo, she's a doctor and an educator in internal medicine. She'll be talking about the Clean Air Initiative in Camden County. So you can talk to Marty or June if you'd like more information about that. But again, that's today. And that's it. Everything else is in your newsletter. And thank you very much. And we'll move on.
Circle up.
We are connected. All right, we're going to do this snazzy and jazzy like Reverend Paul likes it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with God as our power. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Hey, there we go. So let's take a nice deep breath, breathing in that peace that we know, that we live from, that is the truth of who we are. Giving thanks for this entire service. Giving thanks for Reverend Christina's talk that lifts us up on the wings of spirit, carrying us through this beautiful week, giving thanks for each other, everyone here, everyone on Zoom, every member of this beautiful entity, which is the Center for Conscious Living. Giving thanks for this next week, living it full out, living it from the divine, living it from our hearts. Giving thanks for all the good of God that flows to and through of us by divine right. Knowing that we are one with God and everything that is. And we say thank you, and so it is.
Glad you're ready. I don't know what happened to it. Here it is. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in all of my activities.
Life is in all my activities.
I receive it.
I receive it.
I share it.
I share it.
I am it.
I am it.
And I accept it.
I accept it.
How?
Just
The way that it is. Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
And accepting all of these gifts, we say yes.
Yes!
Thank you, everyone.